guys, thanks for joining my second episode of India and Stuff for the behind the scenes, in-betweens, and all the other stuff. Let's hop into today's episode where I'm literally just gonna try to help you get a little less depressed this winter. Let's do it. Okay, I introduced her in the last episode. She's back again. This is Mooney. I'm literally just gonna be a child and hold her the whole time, and I don't care what you think because she's so nice and comfortable. And also, my cats love to be held once in a while, but I tried to get my real cat, Noom, and she refused, so it's whatever. So if you don't know, I live in Central Ohio, which is technically I call it the Midwest. I think some people like to debate that, and they're like, the Midwest is like the Dakotas and Montana and like Tricola Falls, Wisconsin. I'm like, yeah, sort of, but like Ohio's definitely the Midwest, if not the Midwest of the Midwest. It's like the armpit of the country, and I've lived here my whole life. Okay, that's not fully true. I've lived here most of my life. I'll have to get into that. I lived in Pittsburgh for a couple months. I lived in Kansas City for a summer, and I kind of traveled Europe for a month once, but like mostly Ohio, you know what I mean? And yeah, so Ohio is my home. It's my native place. I'd love to not have to live in Ohio. Tried many, many times, as I just mentioned. But for whatever reason, we're always kind of ending up back here. So who knows? But when it comes to winter, it's just, gosh darn it, it is just not ideal. It's usually gray and kind of crappy. I like snow. I love that vibe of winter, like the cozy little snowy homework town. But it's not always that way. You can't really see much behind me, but if you look out the window, it's just gray. And it'll be gray for the next 3 months, and it has been gray for the last 3 months, so depressing. But if you live in the Midwest or any other state where you're just kind of in the winter blues, I wanted to put together some little things that I'm trying to challenge myself to do to get a little less depresso here in the winter months. So we're gonna hop into this list and why I think it's helpful. At the time of recording this, it is mid-January, so hopefully when this comes out to the world, it's still applicable to your winter blues, but heck, even better if it's spring wherever you are and you're just kind of having the best time. So may or may not apply to you. Let's dive in. Okay, so I have never really been a girly girl, never super been into makeup, hair, fashion up until the last year or so. Yet again, I'm still not wearing makeup, and I'm not really wearing anything that's something fun to write home about. So maybe one day I'll actually look like I feel that I want to. What? Maybe one day I'll actually put myself together for this podcast. But I will actually credit the Kardashians for this. I started watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I think summer of 2022. And since then, since I have been keeping up with, I was like, all right, maybe I should put on some makeup. Maybe I should put together an outfit that's not sweatpants. You know what I mean? I think COVID really made it hard to wear actual clothes again. So I think that has kind of helped me feel like I can get dressed a little bit more than I had been. The other thing is I work for myself. So most days I'm just at home. So I can get away with being in my PJs all day or being in my sweats all day and just editing wedding photos and kind of doing that. So a little bit of a dangerous thing, but it has been nice in COVID to just kind of relax. But if I want to be more of a girly girl, kind of got to put myself together a bit more. So definitely inspired by the Kardashians to do just that. So I say all that to lead into my points. One of the ways that I think we can get a little undepresso for the ladies is using self-tanner or some kind of makeup that makes you feel like it's summertime, if that makes sense. So this is not sponsored by Beauty by Earth, but I am an affiliate with them. So let me know if you want their linky. And they have a really good self-tanner drop that you can just mix with your favorite lotion, and it kind of makes it a tinted moisturizer. I love that. I love that brand in general because they don't use a bunch of garbage chemicals. It's a lot of nature-driven, science-driven, natural beauty stuff. So I think that's pretty cool. And I haven't yet tried their real self tanner, but I like the tanning drops because you don't have to worry about like if the smell's gonna be weird or if the texture's weird or if the lotion's something that you actually like. You can just take their drops and literally I mix it with like my face moisturizer and go da 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 da. And every time I've done it has been a really even application. So I like to use self tanner in the winter because I think it makes me feel a little bit more confident in my own body and in my complexion, and it makes me feel like it's summertime. It's like really fun to like, take off all 25 layers of my sweatshirts and be like, huh, I actually like I have a little glow. I have a little healthy secret. Like, did I get sun? Where'd she get that sun from? Where'd she find it? Can I buy some? Yes. Even though the only person who's seeing me without layers is Ian, it's still great because he knows the secret. He's like, she has that sun. Amazing. Okay, the next thing I would recommend to people trying to get undepressed in the wintertime is do one communal thing a week. I think so far I've held up to it. This was one of my goals throughout the winter, was just put something on the schedule once a week that is with someone that you don't live with, that gets you out of the house. So whether that is going to a movie, okay, I wrote my notes down. So whether that's going to a movie, going to get coffee with a friend, a musical, a concert, a meal out, a walk in a park, a bookstore date, whatever that looks like, I think just the idea of like, I'm getting out of the house, I'm going to a physical location, and I'm gonna be conversing or talking with someone else really has helped my mental health this January so far. So for example, last Wednesday, my friend actually won the Broadway lottery. So when you win that, I guess you get a discounted ticket or something. And she got tickets for Moulin Rouge and called me up and was like, do you wanna go? Of course I said yes. And so we went to see a concert on a Wednesday night. Like so fun. We went downtown to like the Ohio Theater, got all dressed up, got to go out to dinner for a really low cost evening. Also, Ian and I love going to $5 Tuesdays. I guess it's actually $6 value Tuesday now, but at Marcus Theaters on Tuesday, the movie tickets are super cheap. So we like to go see movies on Tuesdays. So last week we saw Iron Claw, which if you follow our Cinema Q podcast, there'll definitely be an episode about that. Tears. But it was just a super inexpensive date night. We just, made dinner at home, go to the theater, watch a movie, talk about it on the way back, getting out of our normal kind of flow. And then another example would be going to a concert. So for one of Ian's Christmas gifts, I got him the concert tickets to go to the Candlelight concert series. I don't know if you guys have seen those Instagram ads, but I definitely have never swiped up faster than when I saw that advertised around Christmas time. I was like, yep, add to cart, take my money. It actually wasn't that expensive. I was kind of thinking it would be more pricey, but we are going to the Hans Zimmer tribute candlelight concert in February in Ohio, and I'm really, really excited. But just things like that, little things that get you out of the house. It doesn't have to be that expensive either. Even if you just want to like call up a friend and be like, hey, I got to go run some errands. I have to go grocery shopping. Do you want to walk around Whole Foods with me? Or do you want to like go grab coffee and like walk around the mall? Do people go to malls anymore? I don't know. But whatever it is, I think those little things definitely help me feel undepressed. And that is coming from someone who's kind of an ambivert. Like I recharge a lot alone, but I still need my people. And I think in the winter especially, do it. Another thing to get a little less depressed is making a meal a day from a recipe. I was gonna say from a new recipe, but I decided against it because that's actually kind of a lot. But making one of the meals that you eat something where it's something you see online or on TikTok or from a recipe book, and you're literally reading the instructions, grabbing the ingredients, and making the meal. And the reason why I specifically think that helps us out in the winter, I think it taps into different sensory application. So if you're, engaging in the reading portion or watching the video, like you're stimulating, I don't know how science works, you're stimulating a part of your brain that's saying like, okay, here's me taking information and then moving into a tactile phase of like, now I'm touching things, now I'm using hot tools, now I'm using ingredients, instead of just like scrambling around in the kitchen being like, I guess this egg, and I don't know. I guess for me, I get really influenced pretty easily, but also inspired by visuals. So if I see a beautiful finished meal in a cookbook or on someone's Instagram page, I'm much more motivated to like do all the steps to get the end result, versus if I'm just kind of hungry and wander into the kitchen, I'll usually like make something that's like not as nutritious or as flavorful as it could be. So I think following the whole steps to a recipe and forcing yourself to like go through a process, I don't know, I think it just like activates something else in your brain. I don't know. Call a scientist and ask them. I don't know. But I think it helps me feel less depressed. Okay, also I will say I have never been like a fan of cooking. I've been kind of mortified of it. I like didn't grow up cooking things, and I don't have like memories in the kitchen kind of thing. So now as an adult, I'm like, wait, do I like actually like cooking? Who knows? Stay tuned. Okay, the next thing to get less depressed, I put down sweating. And that to me is going to the gym, having spicy time with your spouse, sitting in a sauna, I guess. That's not really my thing, but if it helps you sweat, go for it. And the reason might be a little backwards to what you're thinking. Yes, I do think January is a great time to like kick it into gear and like, you know, start working out finally. But I think that when you sweat in the wintertime, it's doing something to make your temperature go up. So the cold actually feels like a little treat. And I think that makes your brain switch from like remorse and just like depression, being like, oh my gosh, it's winter, but being like, oh, I'm so grateful that it's so cold after I just did this really hot, high intensity workout kind of thing. Does that make sense to anyone? Like, let me know if I'm way off. But I've been going to the gym. We live literally 2 minutes away from the YMCA, so there's no excuse for me to not go. And I've really struggled to go with any level of consistency the last like 2 years that we've lived here. But I started going a couple weeks ago, and I went every single day. And I do the 12-3-30. If I have any 12-3-30 girlies here, let me know. I like it because it's low intensity, high impact. I can watch an episode of TV. It's pretty good for me so far. And it's a good little ease into the workout, I don't know, gym culture. I don't know. I don't know if I'm a gym person. But once I get all sweaty and then I go outside to get in the car, it feels like a little treat. I'm so grateful for how it's, negative 12 degrees. I'm like, praise the Lord that my sweat is now turning into icicles. So happy. And the last little tidbit to help you get undepressed this winter is read physical books. And the reason that I said physical books as opposed to a Kindle or audiobooks is because I think, again, there's something tactile with a physical book that really makes it feel romantic. It taps into something with your sensory brain waves. I don't know. But I really feel like it helps everything feel a little more real. You're physically turning a page, you can smell the paper from the book, and you're reading the words, it's slowing down. I think we've had a debate in our family for a while about whether audiobooks and reading books should be counted as the same thing. Like when someone's like, oh yeah, I read like 40 books this year, and 30 of them were from Audible. I'm like, you didn't read 30 books. You listened to 30 books and you read 10 books. Like you're receiving the information, but you're not activating the same sensory part of your brain. So sure, you like went through the book, you received the information of the book, but it to me is so vastly different. How much I remember, how much I can memorize, how much I feel about a book, whether I'm hearing the information or reading the information. So that's my little tangent on that. Do whatever works for you, but if you're feeling a little depressed, I would say just pick up a hard copy of a book and see if that helps anything. Right now I'm reading through the Harry Potter series. I've never read through it before. It's taken me a long time because I'm still trying to get back into the swing of reading, so I'm on the Half-Blood Prince book. And it has just been so fun to put on my little mood lights at the end of the day, open the book, and lose myself into a little wizarding world of Hogwarts. So I don't know, it's just been kind of a fun thing. And then I'm also listening to a Stephen King audiobook with Ian. I think it's called Fairy Tale, and we're a couple chapters in, and we've been hearing it and listening to it most times we get in the car. So I do just think they're two completely different sensory ways of inputting information into our system. But both are good, but I definitely feel a little calmer and a little more, I don't know, just like rooted when I'm reading a physical book. So maybe you will too. Who knows? Okay, that is pretty much it for this episode. I just wanted to share some of those things because I know winter can be genuinely a really hard time for a lot of people. If anyone struggles with seasonal depression or just kind of feels so much more down and less like themselves in the winter months, especially if you live in an area like the Midwest or Alaska or Canada. I'm with you. You're not alone. And comment something that you like to do to feel a little less depresso in the comments. Maybe it'll help someone else as well. That's it for today. I also should add a Squishmallow to that list. Thank you guys for listening once again. Let me know if you have any ideas for future episodes. And as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do the whole thingy. And we'll see you guys at the next episode. Thank you. Bye. I gotta turn this off.